What up, it's your girl Leiyah Stone, aka O Doctor, and today I'm here with the other O Doctor, my dad.
Yo, what up? It's your boy JJ Stone, aka O Doctor.
Stop stealing my name.
Welcome to episode 2 of Raising a Ninja. I got Leiyah with me. Today, we're going to be talking about content. I've made a list of a whole bunch of other episodes and shows, which I will do for the next episode. But for today, we're talking about how I get Leiyah to see all kinds of crazy movies and things. And people always ask, why are you taking a kid to see that movie? Right?
You have to raise the child the right way.
You do have to raise a child the right way. And to be fair, you weren't always seeing crazy movies, you know.
Yeah.
We watched all the My Little Ponies. We watched all the Care Bears.
It's kind of weird to go from Care Bears to KKK stuff.
Oh, yeah, we did. It's the Mickey Mouse Fun House. Come inside, it's fun inside. See? I still remember that stuff.
I don't.
I hate Caillou the most. From when
Caillou is Caillou.
He's the worst. He's a crybaby, sniveling punk, and I can't stand the
No,
fact.
people made a rap about him.
Oh, yeah, they make raps about everything. Black people make music about everything.
And about Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, we watched Dora the Explorer. We watched all the things the kids are supposed to watch, and then I graduated you to, remember when we used to watch Star Wars Clone Wars? I got Leiyah on that before we watched the real Star Wars, and then we watched all the X-Men. We watched Transformers. I don't think we watched G.I. Joe. Do you remember watching G.I. Joe?
Who's G.I. Joe?
Yeah, so you didn't watch G.I. Joe. But we watched, what else did we watch? Young Justice, the Justice Leagues.
Oh, yeah, we watched all the Justice Leagues.
Yeah.
And then we watched a lot of the old Supermans.
Yep. And progressed onto that. I think the first movie I got you to watch that was like a quote-unquote adult movie, remember when we watched The Matrix?
Yeah.
With Neo?
Yeah.
That was probably the first like action where everybody's getting shot up and crazy stuff's happening movie that you...
Isn't that Star Wars? Pew, pew, pew.
Star Wars is different. Star Wars is built for kids. It wasn't the same as... Like, you know...
It's not the same, kind of.
No, it's not the same kind of aggression that The Matrix was.
Yeah, but either way, there's still pew, pew, pew.
Well, there's a lot of lightsabers and stuff in Star Wars.
Vazoom. Vazoom, vazoom.
So, either scary stuff will come up, or quote-unquote inappropriate stuff will come up, like what we call smoochy.
Little bit more than smoochy.
Now you know it's more smoochy, but before it's just smoochy. But remember, I would put my hand on your knee.
You would tap me, like a certain amount of times to close my eyes or close my ears or do both.
Yep. If I put my hand on, close your eyes. If I squeeze, then you put your hands over your ears.
Yeah.
And then I tap for you to watch again. So that's how I got through certain things like...
Deadpool 1.
Yeah, Deadpool 1.
When he was with his girlfriend.
Yeah, when he was with his girlfriend. And there's inappropriate quote-unquote scenes. The first show that we watched that had not so much inappropriate stuff, but more real-life topics. Remember we watched The OC?
Yeah.
I highly suggest that everybody watch The OC with their kids because they show a lot of high school drama, crazy boyfriends, crazy girlfriends, people lying, people getting caught. What happens when
Smallville.
When you drink? We watched Smallville too. We watched Smallville. We watched we watched a whole bunch of stuff. I'm talking about like that was like more realistic. Smallville was a live action cartoon.
But the OC was more of a realistic topic.
Yeah.
I guess than people flying and learning how to use their laser eyes.
Yeah, it's totally different. The OC is like, remember the first like few episodes where she got drunk?
Yeah.
And her friends left her outside on the grass?
Yeah.
And they didn't take
care of her. It's like real life situations.
Yeah.
Not like Superman where, oh yeah, there's a shooting across the world. I can hear it.
Yeah. So, watching the OC was better for you to like learn how people act. Yeah. And like how people lie.
And try not to do alcohol and and this is what happens if you do alcohol too much or if you do drugs or whatever.
Yeah, and not to mention any of your friends' names. Remember what I would tell you about not telling people your business?
Yeah.
And we watched the show, and then people would tell people their business, and then somebody would use it against them.
Yeah.
And then you had that problem trusting the wrong person.
Yeah.
So that show's really good to show you how people do it. And sometimes they don't even mean to do it. Sometimes you just trust the wrong person and they tell on you or they lie on you or they spread your business. So that was a really good core show for you to watch to learn how people are and what's supposed to be going on.
Yeah.
The only problem I think that comes with not letting you watch certain things or not waiting till you got older is now you're very squeamish to things.
What does that mean?
Anytime there's an intense situation,
I close my eyes and look away and I'm like, ah!
Yeah, because you're used to not being able to see, quote unquote, somebody getting their head cut off or like stressful moments or like, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So since you didn't get to see that, now you feel like you got to look away. We're watching Uncle Drew and you're not watching them play a basketball game because you're like, it's getting too intense.
I'm sorry. It was scary.
It was a basketball game.
No, but
it's a basketball game.
It's
you know what's gonna happen.
Well, maybe there might have been a part 2, and maybe I didn't know it was gonna happen. Okay, I can't predict movies like you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay, maybe that movie I could.
You know it's gonna happen.
But it was like really pressuring and pressure.
Also, in movies, you learned at a very young age that we don't talk out loud during movies.
Oh my god.
If you have something to say,
wait until the end of the movie or like quietly tap on you and whisper like a quick little sentence and then be quiet.
Yes. Otherwise, wait till the end of the movie. Discussing the movie and asking questions in the movie is silly because usually they answer the questions
in the movie.
We've been going to movies for a long time, but you've always been a pretty good kid. Mind you, I didn't start taking you to the movie theater until you were like 5 or so you could understand.
That's so old.
It is old. We've been to the movies. People take babies to the movies. People take little kids to the movies, talking loud and
they scream.
When we went and saw it, like The Incredible. Anytime we see a cartoon movie, that's why I always wait for the kid movies.
The last.
Yeah, like a week or two afterwards, because everybody takes their little kids, and what do?
They scream. They're like, ah! He turns into bubbles.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff that they do. Like when we went to go see Deadpool, the lady said, "Are you sure you want your daughter to see this?" And I'm like, "Shut up and give me my ticket." She didn't say anything to the little boy that was in front of us, and then that little boy and his family ended up leaving, like right in the beginning of the movie, because he freaked out because somebody's head got cut off. Remember? They had to leave. Yeah. They didn't prepare their kid. Their son's a punk, and he couldn't handle it. Do you think you're too young to watch the stuff that I let you watch?
No.
We watched, what's something controversial we watched? We watched Underground. Remember the show Underground?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that is a New Day Roots. We haven't watched Roots yet. I need to show you Roots. But it's just...
I've heard of Roots before.
Yes. Roots is the original kind of version of Underground. So anybody who's listening, everybody knows what Roots is. Underground is a new take on it with Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad, freedom and all that kind of stuff. And it's very...
It's kind of teaching you things about... Well, everybody's kind of in role play of how it was. And so it kind of gives you a take of how it was versus how it is.
Yeah, it's very aggressive, teaching you about slavery and slaves trying to get free and
it shows you all the things that used to happen to slaves if they tried to escape or when they did escape and how they escaped and so on.
Yeah, how they got caught, how they got beat.
Yeah.
How they got punished. That was a very graphic show, but we got to talk about it after every episode. Basically, you're asking, is that really real? Did that happen? I say, yes. You get mad at quote-unquote white people, and I got to say, look, there's good white people in the show. There were good white people back then. You're half white, so you got to take all that stuff into consideration when you're feeling so angry and upset about people getting beat. And today we saw...
Black
Klansman. It's Black KKK Klansman, which is based on a true story. It's a Spike Lee joint movie.
And at the end of the movie, they showed like real graphic clips of like what they used from the show in real life.
Yeah,
of.
well, they used current clips at
Yeah.
the end of the show with Charlottesville and the girl that got ran over and
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
And how he isn't stopping anybody, but because I guess they voted for him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop you from being the president and have to do good stuff, but I guess he's not.
So the Black Klansman is about a black officer in the 70s who went undercover on the phone to infiltrate the KKK. His white partner was his double who went to the meetings for him, and they stopped a lot of cross burnings and things
yeah.
like that. There's a lot of things in the movie, Leiyah, that you don't know about that are fabricated because they're movies. They have to make them more exciting. But in general, what do you think of the movie?
Thought it was pretty good. Not to be like, it was great, but like, it was a good movie.
Yeah, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part was at the end when he told him who he really was. He was like, you sure about that?
Yeah, he told, not to spoil it if you're listening, but when he finally admitted to David Duke that he was black, that was funny.
He started cursing him out, and he was like, you sure about that? Because he said, that's how you always tell a black person from a white person, how you speak. White people say R. Black people say ara.
Yeah, and in general, there's a whole thing about, speaking and language, and, it's the same thing when on the
Slang.
phone. People think that because my name's Owen, when I show up, they look at me funny. They're like, Owen? I'm like, yeah, because Owen's a white name.
Yeah. I know a lot of white boys, and they're like all white, and their name is Owen.
Yeah.
And when they
Black-
see you,
yeah.
they're like, oh.
They think I'm supposed to be Omar, yo.
Oh.
They're like, yeah.
Oh.
They didn't know. I snuck up on them. Owen J.J. Stone with the news. Leah Summerstone with the news.
Leah Stone.
Leah Summer.
Mary Stone.
Summer. That's right. You got a long name, B.
Yeah.
So what's the scares you the most about what we're watching lately?
What are we watching lately?
We just finished watching Daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
Tell the people about Daredevil.
Daredevil is just a series of multi-shows. How there's like multi-superheroes. And they all try to... Well, some of them don't have actual superpowers, but they do.
I'm talking about Daredevil specifically. What freaks you out the most about Daredevil? You're killing me right now.
I don't remember.
We just got done watching an episode. What freaked you out about the episode?
Kind of how they like cut their throat.
Yeah.
And how they cut limbs.
Yeah.
And stuff, and they bleed out. And I feel whatever they cut, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, because Daredevil's really aggressive. Like Luke Cage, they just punch people.
And whatever. And
Jessica Jones, they punch people. But Daredevil,
they slit their throats, and they... I can't.
yes, you can.
I can't.
So gangster.
I can't deal with it.
You gotta deal with it.
I can't.
We'll talk about this later. But how do you stab someone?
You put it in, and most people just take it right out. But whatever you do, you stab it in, you twist it, and then you pull it out.
And why do you do that?
To make sure they dead.
That's right. Make sure they bleed out. Nick some arteries while you're in there. You don't just poke. You gotta poke and turn. We'll talk about that in another episode about self-defense and how to protect yourself. Flight or flight moments, but yeah, that's how you do that. That's why you gotta watch Daredevil. Remember that? And they would just choppy, and then they cut the hands
Good
off.
sound effect.
Oh, great sound effects. and just watching shows shows you how dumb people are.
Like how people just follow the blood trail into the woods.
Oh.
What the heck?
Yeah.
And it's never black people who do it. Oh, never. Those black people are like, no, I don't want to do this. Don't get me into it. And then they're always like, yeah, come on, let's go. And then they always end up dead. The only good black guy in the show, Daredevil, he got killed because some girl was like, yeah, you could do it.
Yeah.
And some guy killed him.
Yeah.
And he took the blame for it. So she wasn't killed.
Yep. That's how that goes down.
She's stupid.
White people are quote unquote brave or really dumb when they do stuff like that in TV shows and movies. Generally speaking, this is a stereotypical thing, Black people don't do that stuff. In all the horror movies, black people usually die first, which I think they should always die last because they're not going outside. Like, you know.
Like the Purge, the last Purge where the guy turned out to be the hero.
Yeah.
In the end, and how he lived the most out of anybody. He was not hurt, barely.
We gotta watch the last Purge. No. Yeah. We gotta watch the last Purge. Well, which technically, that means we gotta watch the second Purge, because you're watching them in order.
Yeah.
But the last Purge we need to watch is gonna be the third Purge. Yeah. You're watching stuff, you get to learn how things are and how people are, and then we get to discuss about how people are dumb. You're gonna be dating boys that are dumb and cheating on you and treating you like crap.
What's the point?
You're gonna fall for it. Girls fall for it all the time. You see the shows?
I'm not stupid.
Man, I don't know.
I'm not stupid.
You're gonna be like, oh my god, he's so cute. Yep, that's what you're gonna do.
No.
That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna fall for it.
No.
But you know what you're supposed to do? Who are you supposed to fall for? In the TV show, who's the person you're supposed to fall for?
The guy, well, there's always a guy that likes you a lot in the background, but nobody ever ends up choosing him. They always choose the cute boy over the smart boy. And it's stupid.
Yeah.
Just go with the person that likes you, okay?
Yep.
Not the guy who's cool and who can play the guitar.
And then they always end up with the other guy anyway.
I know.
Or they get upset when the other guy starts dating somebody else.
And then they're like, but he was supposed to be mine. He was my second meet if this girl were to break up with me.
Do you know why that happens in every single TV show and movie?
No.
Because it happens every single day in real life. Girls have dudes that are just in love with them and like them. They be so good to them. They treat them right. And they just want to be there for them. And girls ignore them.
They're
for
like,
the jock,
ew.
the bad boy, whoever. Somebody's mistreating them.
That's not me.
It's not you?
No.
You sure?
No.
I don't know.
I'm sure. Okay. I know some kids in my school and they're
Stop
bad
messing with
over
that bucket. It's making noise. Stop it. You're recording.
But there's some bad kids in my school or whatever. Sure, they might look nice, but doesn't mean anything, okay? All these girls are dating them, but they're only in 5th grade or 4th grade.
Yeah.
And it's stupid.
They're not dating anybody.
I know, but they think that he always looks nice, and why don't they him? And then there's so much nice people, and they're like, ew, you don't look good.
So.
And even in the movies. Stupid.
Your mom doesn't let you watch a whole bunch of stuff.
No.
Because she says stuff's inappropriate.
Yeah.
And do you tell her that we watch other stuff?
Sometimes.
Like, did you tell her we saw The Purge?
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She said, oh, are you okay with watching it? Are you scared? Like, all these questions, how was it? Are you okay? Are you scared?
You sleep like a baby every time you watch something. That wasn't even that scary.
I know. But a while ago, I remember I walked in because I was like, I couldn't really sleep that well when I was little. I walked in and I saw the zombie apocalypse. You were watching on your computer in your room.
Oh, I was watching.
Do you remember?
I was
that
watching,
zombie show or whatever.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead. And I was so scared. I slept with you for almost a week because I was like, ah!
Yeah.
The zombies were so scary.
They were super real. And then you were young then. That was like, you were like 5 or 6. That was like when Walking Dead first started.
Yeah, but I just came in to get some water and you were like watching Walking Dead as zombies. And that was scary.
We should try and watch that.
No.
That's a good survivor show. You should watch it. You gotta learn how to survive. What if stuff goes down? We gotta escape. This isn't for this episode, but remember what I told you about if we have to leave, we have to leave?
Yeah.
That show will teach you a lot about that.
You said this is not for this show. Wait.
I will wait.
Hold
I'm
your
just talking
horses.
about it. I was talking about it. We gotta watch The Walking Dead. See if you can handle these zombies. You haven't had a nightmare in so long. You haven't had like a nightmare in so long. Remember the last time you came in my room? You said, Dad, I had a nightmare. What'd I say? You don't remember.
No.
I said, go back to sleep. We don't have nightmares. We have adventures. And you went back to sleep and you didn't wake back up. So we don't have nightmares. We have adventures. If it's scary, ride that scary. And when you wake up, be like, man, that was crazy.
No,
Don't
I
be
remember
waking up being all scared.
my one and worst nightmare that I ever had. I remember it. My favorite stuffed animals. They were trapped on top of a rooftop. And it was like a witch thing. And it was scary. They were blowing in the wind and someone took them from me. That was my scariest nightmare. And I remember it till this day.
Yeah, that's so horrible.
Doggy and Teddy, they left. Someone took them. They were covered in blood.
You have the worst pet names ever.
I'm sorry. I got them
Doggy,
before I was...
Teddy. What, remember Katsa?
Yeah.
Because she was a cat. You're the absolute worst.
Leave me alone. I was really little.
Couldn't name them like Earl or like Marsha or like Becky or Susie or Shaquan or Randy.
Shaquan.
You had to name them. What's wrong with Shaquan? You got a problem with Shaquan? Huh? All the Shaquans out there listening?
Yeah.
Go ahead and write Leah a little email. Let her know who she talking about Shaquan. She got a problem with Shaquan.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, let me wrap this up. For content, once you get them old enough to start watching the things you want to watch, they shouldn't be watching. Remember my smooth tip of squeeze the knee, close the eyes. Tap the knee, eyes and ears, and then you can do a signal for release or something like that. Just so when you're in the movie and you know as an adult what's coming, you can prep them and have them turn off. Or if you're home, you can just hit fast forward. But I don't ever do that because I like to watch a movie myself.
You
Shouldn't
tired?
be yawning. I shouldn't be yawning. But that's how I get around that. That's how I do that. Attached to this episode, what you're about to hear, is our review and conversation about 13 Reasons Why. Now, did you tell your mom you watched that?
No.
Huh.
First episode, I told her. She's like, you should not be watching that. And I said, okay, I won't watch it.
It is, again...
It was so hard for me to not tell her. Oh, yeah, I watched the rest of 13
Again,
Reasons Why.
You're going into middle school now. We're going to talk about all the other stuff in other episodes, but there were some really deep topics in that show.
Yeah.
It was really ultra real. It was so...
When she, passed away or whatever, or committed suicide, earlier today, do you remember when we went to go see the movies? I saw this girl with long brown hair, and I was like... Hannah Baker.
Yeah, because she worked at the movie theater.
Yeah, and she looked just like her.
Yeah.
Her hair was the exact same. Her face, it had the same things. And I was like, she works at the movies. Oh my God, it's Hannah Baker.
So 13 Reasons Why is a very serious show, but you had a lot of your YouTubers that you watch were talking about it because the second season was coming up and you wanted to know what it was and all that. And my thing was, I'd rather watch it with you than have you watch it by yourself alone.
So you couldn't explain to me why this happened and that happened and why people did this and why people did that. And to explain that this isn't real, I shouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story, but it's just a movie. It's not a show. And when bad things happen to those people are still walking around with a paycheck and they're living a dream. But it informs you about how things could happen. The same reason why I talk so much about you having self-defense and protecting yourself, because when you watch a show and watch girls get violated, and you wonder, oh, why didn't they fight back? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Because some girls can't. Some girls don't know how to, and you won't have some of those issues because you know how to protect yourself, or at least try to protect yourself. You know what I mean? And it'll teach you how to not be in those positions. Because, again, those are real-life positions. We're talking about, again, trusting the wrong person, telling the wrong stories, all that kind of jazz. Yeah. So I want to attach that right on the end of this. So hope you enjoy it. Say goodbye to the people, Leah.
Goodbye, people.
You can follow Leah on Instagram at LeiyahSMS. You can follow her on Twitter at Leiyah. Her website, Leiyah.com, which I got to get together. You can follow me if you want to contribute to the hard semi work that I'm doing. I have a Patreon. You can throw me $1 or $2. If you don't, just hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're here listening right now. After episode 3, it will be available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, anywhere else you want to get your podcasts at. I'm just trying to, I'm being honest, I'm not really asking for money like that, so I'm just trying to get my YouTube subscribers up, and this is one way to do it because it's a new show.
And
so.
my YouTube.
Oh yeah, Leah's got a YouTube too. She got a couple subscribers on there.
Not too much. I would like more.
She's got to start doing some more shows and content to get herself together. That's what we got to do. But there is a good reaction video up there of Leiyah being scared, talk about scary movies. Leiyah hasn't watched scary movies yet. We watched adult content movies and action movies and aggressive movies.
But not scary movies, because I'm a baby when it comes to that.
We're working on scary movies.
No, thank you.
Again, I'm your boy JJ Stone, a.k.a. Doctor. Thanks for listening.
I am your girl, Leiyah Stone, a.k.a. Doctor. You stealed it from me.
Don't interrupt me when I'm talking. I'm your boy JJ Stone, a.k.a. Doctor, and I'm out. Thanks for listening. Okay. We just got done watching 13 Reasons Why. Tell me what you're confused about. What were you confused about?
That Bryce, when Bryce was asking, when that other guy, Justin, was telling him that he knew that he forced himself onto other females, right? And then Bryce was, like, all confused, saying, who would believe a dead girl, right? He got the tapes, right?
Yeah. Well, Bryce hasn't heard any of the tapes, so that's why he was thinking...
Oh, he heard of the tapes, but he've never actually heard them from Hannah's point of view.
No.
Why didn't people pass it on to Bryce?
Because, again, at the end, everybody was kind of protecting Bryce, so he wanted Bryce to get in trouble, so he gave it to the teacher, because I was the last person on the tapes. And who could trust Bryce, right?
No one cares about Bryce. He's Bryce.
Yeah. So if he's doing what he's doing to get away with whatever he's doing, then you can't trust him with the tapes, because he'd probably destroy him, because it makes him look bad, right? And out of all the things other people did, of gossip and talking,
Bryce did the worst.
Yes, he did do the worst. What was the saddest part of the show to you? Talk to the microphone.
Maybe the saddest part. Well, one of the things that I just couldn't look at was when it just did a rewind of when she got into the bathtub and stuff. I was like, ugh. I didn't look at any of that stuff besides for when her dad came in and said to the mom, like, what's wrong? What's happening? And blah, blah. And then the mom kept yelling at him, go call 911.
Well, was that the saddest part, or that part that freaked you out the most?
Freaked me out.
What was the saddest part of the first season?
One of the saddest... Nothing was really that sad. It was just like...
The dance, her in the party in the closet, not helping her friend.
It was a little bit scary when he had the flashback when all those other kids were playing basketball, and then he saw her laying on the floor with a dress on, dead.
Yeah.
That was scary. I thought she was coming
You
back.
are confusing freaky and scary with sad.
Yeah.
We could have got to what was the scariest part, what was the freakiest part. I was talking about what the saddest part was. The saddest part for me was when... Oh my goodness, I just lost it. The saddest part for me was when... Dang it. I forget what my saddest part was. I had it in my mind, and you came with all these other parts. And... Oh, the saddest part for me, which in retrospect, besides Bryce forcing himself on girls, which is devastatingly angering. That's not even sad. That makes you angry, right?
Yeah.
Is when Clay's friend died at the stop sign. Because he was like one of the good jocks, like a good guy. He was trying to help Clay. You know, he saw that Hannah and Clay should have been together. He tried to make that happen. Everybody liked him. He wasn't a jerk like the other athlete guys.
Yeah.
Like, he was just a good guy. And then when Clay went and like kind of told the parents, I felt so bad because I'm like, a lot of people that deserve to die, your kid was a good kid. Like, your kid did not deserve to die.
One of my saddest parts was when that girl it was just annoying how that one girl that got, what's her name? That got forced on by Bryce?
Jessica.
Okay, so Jessica kept saying no to that other guy that tried stopping it, but he was drunk just like her, so he couldn't do anything just as much as she couldn't. And no, he tried doing something, but then Bryce got in the way, and he was like, he wasn't as drunk as anyone else.
Yeah, that was crazy. Because remember when she had flashbacks, she thought she saw Bryce, and then Justin came in the window, and she starts hugging Justin and crying. And I'm like, what are you doing? You just thought you had flashbacks of seeing... I mean, I guess she didn't believe herself at the time. But I'm like, what are you hugging him for? You got to know something's wrong. And then at the end, obviously, she hated him.
And then she went over Bryce's house.
What was she doing? Yeah, first of all, even if your boyfriend's being mean to you, what are you doing sitting on Bryce's lap at Bryce's house, hanging out with Bryce?
I understand you like your drugs or whatever, but you're not even a drug person. You like your alcohol.
Yeah, well, she was messed up, and she started drinking because sometimes people drink because they think it makes them feel better. And
well, at the end, I don't know what she was writing. I got a little bit scared because I thought she was going to kill herself too, and she was just going to write notes instead of saying tapes. Because when her dad came in, she stopped writing, and she put her hand over what she already started writing.
Yeah. But then it looked like she was going to tell her dad.
She was really sad. Like, she was like, oh, so blah, blah, blah happened to me. Bryce was being...
Well, we don't know what she actually told him yet.
It was probably going to be about that, or it was about, like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad about doing that to Hannah.
Remember what you asked me the other day? You said, what do you do if you think your dad's going to get mad if you told him what happened to you? Like, how do you know you could tell your dad? Remember you said that?
Yeah.
First of all, why wouldn't you think about telling your mom? What made you think of that way? Just wondering.
Maybe she's already been in the situation. I don't know. I'm just saying. Like, from the...
Like, were you like, you need to tell your dad so your dad could beat him up? Like, why did you think that versus telling your mom? Because you could tell, I mean, not you, but anybody could tell anybody, you know.
I wouldn't, like, if you were a kid, I know the first person that you would probably tell is your best friend or, like, someone that you know is not an adult.
Well, all of her friends
tell you.
All of her friends knew.
Betrayed her.
Yeah.
And already knew because they listened. She didn't even have that much friends. The only actual person that was nice to her was Clay. And, well, she said, he hated me because he's not loving me and because I told him to push away and I thought he was going to come back. Well, when you tell someone to F off, what do you think they're going to do? Like, they're going to come back in that room and be like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Like,
yeah.
Like, no, or they're going to be scared of you.
Yeah, that's a key element of that, which does happen to people. You know, she couldn't trust anybody. She thought everybody was trying to get over on her, and she couldn't realize that there was someone or people that would try to help her. Because in her mind, when she said she didn't have any friends, she said about Clay, she obviously trusted Tony enough, or was friendly enough with Tony to put this burden on him. So she had a friend. She had a couple of friends, and she pushed Clay away because she was confused and all that other kind of stuff that comes along with it. But you can't do that, right? You can't say, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me, and then say, I would hope they come back and get me and come back and help me, because that's what somebody like Bryce would do. Bryce wouldn't listen to you. He'd go do what he wants to do, and you can't hope. You got to let people know if you need help or something's going wrong.
Like, that happens with, that happens to, like, parents and children all the time. They're like, leave me alone, I don't want to do blah blah blah, and then the parents, like, come back and the kid's like, no, and the parents just walk out and you're just like, you know, you're gonna have to come back someday, I'm hungry for dinner, you know.
Right.
Like, not all people are gonna be like your parents are gonna have to come back. Like, other people are just gonna leave you there because they're not your child, they're not your, you know, they're not your responsibility.
Yeah. But again, that's why you don't do that, you know. It's the same thing like when you're mad and I tell you to stop being mad, and then you just have to stop being mad. Like, you have to be in control of your emotions. You could be mad, right? Like, I let you be mad, but sometimes you can't let it get overwhelming because it's not that serious. What was I going to ask you? Do you understand now why I encourage you to do something you like, which is fighting. Do you understand why I want you to be able to defend yourself?
So I won't be able to have to be in that situation where a guy does that.
Yeah, or anybody. You can get in a fight with a girl. It could be anybody. But the thing is, if somebody ever tries to
hurt you
Yeah.
physically, like I'll be able to do something about it.
or at least try to, right?
Yeah.
You know, like right now, if I
Like
can't
that,
if I came to beat you up, are you gonna stop me?
like in reality,
Yeah.
no.
But you could try, right?
I might be able to like get a little bruise here and there, but like otherwise, like I'll be the one knocked out on the floor.
Yeah, because of my size and my stature and that kind of stuff. But at some point, the more you train, you'll be better equipped to handle someone who's bigger than you, possibly stronger than you, and again, maybe not beat them up, but get yourself in a situation where you can get away and save yourself. So that's why it's really important to learn all those things. And that's why when I was trying to explain to you how wrestling works, like you see how when somebody's on top of you, right?
Yeah, you have to like. There's different ways that you can get out, but when you're like when I'm at second base sometimes, right? Like at the game of the other night, when you're actually there and you're at that place and you're watching other people do it, you freeze and you don't know what to do. And so you just stand there watching. Like I did. Like I couldn't move cuz I was like no, throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like you freeze for a second to have to think if you're not used to that situation often. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the same thing can happen if like you were in a fight, like on the ground, like in that movie where the mom was trying to save her kids on the ground.
Yes.
How you have to like how you freak out in the beginning, but then you learn, oh yeah, I have to do this because there's two other guys in there. So I have to get this one guy over there so that these guys come looking for him and so I can come inside.
Yeah. So wrestling, back to the whole point of what I just started with, when you're down on the ground and somebody's on top of you trying to pin you and you got to figure out a way to fight off your back, like that's what that situation's like, right? It's stressful, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're down there and you're like, oh, what do I do? Do I twist my hips? I got to get to my belly. You know, like it puts you in that situation where you got to, like you said, not freeze. Because when you're in wrestling, like, you know, it hurts.
It's like a game. You don't think it's actually that serious. Like it's just a win or lose type of thing.
Yeah.
But in real life, it's like
Well, in wrestling, didn't it get real?
it hurt, but like
I'm saying, like when you're up there doing all the stuff and then once somebody's trying to pin you, or like when you pin that girl, like you were really trying, right? Because you get into it.
in the beginning you're like, oh, you know, I don't really want to do this, and then they almost pin you and you're like, wait. And then you actually start trying your best. Like in the beginning you're a little
So why didn't you cry during 13 Reasons Why?
The only thing that I could think of, I know it happens a lot, but all I could think of was like how they just saw her again, like after the scene was over, like, oh yeah, Hannah, you played a great part, you know, or blah blah blah, because like in that movie or that show, she's not actually dead.
Yeah. So that's why, because you know that it's a TV show.
Yeah.
And that's one thing. So for
I
people,
know it's based on reality,
but
you
it's
know,
not based on a true story. It's a written story, and those things do happen in real life.
yeah,
But this show is just a show.
yeah.
And for people listening, this is something that Leiyah. How old are you, Leiyah?
I'm 10. I'll call myself 11 now.
This is something that Leiyah's understood for a long time. That when we watch movies and shows, some of them can be based on a true story, but most of it is not real. These people are alive and living and well and fine, and it's just a movie. So we don't usually get too emotionally attached, even though sometimes I do cry, play. You know what I mean? I see a father-son moment. You know what I mean? I get all boo-hooey, but
I cry when the dog owner dies, and then he just waits at the door for his owner, but he never comes back.
whose dog owner died? What are you talking about?
Like movies, and I cry.
Okay.
It was sad.
But you ain't crying about this, so you know that's That's a very interesting outlook. I guess you're more of a pet person, dog person, than people person.
No, that's reality. It said based on a true story.
Based on a true story. Do you think that every kid should have to watch this before going into high school?
You're going to high school? Sure, you can watch it to just be informed that you don't have to end your life if things suck. You know what I mean? But you don't have to. If you don't really want to, or your parents don't want you watching it because your parents just are like that and they don't let you see things like this. I understand.
I'm saying, do you think it'll be beneficial to kids? Like, think about the kids that are lonely and think that they don't have anyone to talk to, or kids that are bullied and they think that they're the only ones. Do you think that something like this would help them gain perspective? Like, hey, this could happen to you. Or if you're the bullying person and you think that something you said could hurt somebody's feelings and you don't know it. Case in point,
like
from
in
softball. Don't say her name because we're not going to say her name.
Yeah.
But there was a girl that came late. Girls were making jokes. You
making jokes.
Made a joke, and we make fun of people and make jokes all the time. But she got really upset about it, right?
And took it the wrong way.
Oh, not the wrong way.
But
she took it the way she felt. See again how Hannah sees things in
her way.
In her way, in her mind, it hurt her. So that's why I said it doesn't matter. As soon as that person acknowledges to you that it hurt me, or if you can see that it hurt them, when you're a good person, you say, oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it that way, but I understand you feel that way, and I'm sorry. And you did what that day?
I said I'm sorry, and I apologized for
making her upset.
Yeah.
And then later on, once we found out about it again, you called and apologized again. Because you felt bad that she felt bad. Like, remember, you was like, can I call her? Because what? You said it made me feel sick to your stomach, right?
Yeah.
You felt sick because she felt bad. So see, a show like that, not that you were being a bully, but if the people that are in there, like the jocks and stuff that were bullies, like how the milkshake thing.
Yeah.
If you could see what doing that to somebody does, maybe it'll stop you from doing that to somebody, even if you're a jerk. Because you're like, I don't want to do that to somebody. Because in that moment, you only worry about yourself. You don't see their point of view. So that's why I think it'd be good for kids in school to see it.
I think that too, but some kids in my school, they're in 5th grade, but they act like 2-year-olds, so they think everything's...
It's funny in a joke. You're 10, and people are going to jump on me.
I was raised differently with parenting. Other kids are different. It depends on the parent if you can watch the show or not. It depends on a parent if, you're watching still Powerpuff Girls or whatever. Yes. At this age.
It is all relative to how you're raising a child and how you prepare the child and all that stuff. You are absolutely correct. I meant like high school kids. And
high school kids, yes. They can, yeah.
So do you think they should watch it with their parents?
I think they should watch it with their parents. It would be better if they were to watch it with their parents. Although I watch movies with my mom sometimes, and then she's pausing after 5 minutes, well, this is why this happens, and that's why you shouldn't do that, and this, and then I was 8 at the time, and I'm like, Mom, I don't need your explaining. Explain stuff at the end of the movie when I have questions. When I don't even have questions yet, you don't need to explain. So, yeah, you should watch it with your parent, and then at the end, sure, you can, after every single episode, me, ask questions that, you still need that the show didn't really tell you, because it's a show. It's not going to tell you, oh, this happens and that happens. It's just showing you.
Why, yes. And we're again, you and I together, you have been trained in the ways of watching films and movies where we don't talk during the movie. Unless it's something funny or something crazy, oh, wow, but we don't talk during the movie or the show.
We're not oh, my gosh, why did that happen?
Yeah, we talk at the end of the movie or the show. Which favorite part? That was crazy. Can you explain this? We talk about all that stuff after the show. So we have very good movie etiquette, you and I, which we will be talking about.
Because you watched, I watched a lot of movies and I didn't even see half of what you saw, or a quarter.
No, you're right. You got to catch up to me. So that's basically it. I'm gonna wrap this up. We're gonna start doing a podcast together. It's going to be called Raising a Ninja. I think I might get a little picture of you as like a hippo baby.
And I'm gonna be cool.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be popular. And I'm gonna tell everyone to go onto my website or whatever, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's Leiyah," and I'll be like, "Yeah, that's right. I'm famous."
Well, I don't know about all that.
I'm famous.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
about all
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know about all that.
I'm
happening.
famous.
I'm famous.
No, you're not. I'm famous.
I'm famous.
I have more than 10 followers on Instagram. That's famous.
You're killing it in the Instagram streets.
Yeah.
All right. Well, say goodbye to the people.
Bye, people.
This is just a little side wrap up of 13 Reasons Why. Leigh and I just got done watching the first season. We're late to the party, but again, I did not think that she was ready for it at 8 years old. I figured I'd wait a year. And so now we can go blow through the second season, and we'll talk about that also. Oh, second season spoiler. Like I said, that kid, the photography kid, is going to shoot up the school. Remember we saw?
No, he's going to shoot some of those bad people that bullied him. Like that one guy, like him and them.
Are they... Okay, because they were bullies, they deserve to get shot?
His point of view.
Yeah, his point of view. They do. No. That's again, no. That another reason to learn to protect yourself. You learn to protect yourself. Somebody throws you up against the thing, you chop him in the throat. Protect yourself. But he's got bombs in there. He's got gun. He's not just gonna.
No, Mom, I'm just getting a sweater.
He's not just gonna kill 10 people because he feels like everybody is mean to him and everybody bullied him.
Because even that girl was like pushing him away, but like, bro, you're a loser. Like, why would we invite you to that story? And then he was like,
nothing. He was stalking people and creeping outside their window, taking pictures. So,
there's a point for that.
Yeah, like if you're getting changed, that's why you keep the curtains closed, right? Because
it's a little bit odd.
Because you never know. All right.
I never knew.
Shout out to Tony Baker, man. Yeah. So that was just a tease for the podcast Leigh and I have coming soon. I'll link up the stuff so you can subscribe and get it.
And make me famous.
Yeah. That too. I'm your boy with JJ Stone, aka Doctor.
And I'm Leiyah.
And we're out.